Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Happy New Year, everybody. Hopefully you guys had a great New Year, great Christmas, just good holidays. So Bella sent me this interesting article about Heidi Planck. It's a couple weeks old, but I haven't heard anybody talking about it, and it's got some very interesting stuff in it. So I definitely want to share this article with you. Now, it quotes a YouTube channel, Mo and Boots. So I went to check out their channel, to see what they had to say about it. And they're a kind of newer channel. They've just covered this case so far. I kind of skimmed through because they probably have like 10 or so videos. So I kind of was just skimming through them just to make sure like what facts. Because they quoted or they sourced that channel in this article that I'm going to read you. So I just wanted to kind of see what they were saying and make sure that this article was getting everything right, like let's go straight to the source. This is the source. Let's see what they have to say. Seems like a pretty good channel. Like I said, they're new. They haven't been around that long. And the only case they have done so far is Heidi, which is fine. I did Chris Watt's case for like a year before I even did any other case. I know. Okay, so yeah, it's called Mo and Boots True Crime in Real Time. They started their channel a month ago. I kind of skimmed through the titles and kind of skimmed through some of the videos just to see what was what. So on their second to last video, they explain what they found out. Don, which they call Boots, went to the Hope and Flower apartment building, which is the building that is thought where Heidi's basically her last known place to be was in that apartment complex. That's where her dog was found on the 28th floor. That is supposedly why the law enforcement is looking at that landfill, because that's where the trash from that apartment complex goes. So it is thought that she was in that building and something happened in that building, right? Because also that surveillance video that gets released where she's in the alley close to that apartment complex, right? And then supposedly her car was found a couple blocks from the apartment, but come to find out that I guess the car may have been moved, which we'll get into in a little bit. So basically this article explains Dawn's encounter with some lady that she runs into while she's at the Hope and Flower apartment building, that I guess Dawn and Heidi's friend were down there for a vigil, and then they were wanting to cover up a sign with plastic or something for the rain. But they run into this lady who has a flat tire and ask them for some help. So they end up talking about what this lady witnessed that night, and then some of the coworkers chime in and like basically confirm this lady's story. So it's really interesting. But I just wanted to point out in their videos, Mo and Boots, that is. So the newest video was actually even titled "We're no longer staying silent." So at the beginning, they go on to say, we're not going to stay silent. We're finally going to come out and just tell you what was true and what wasn't with our article, and just so you guys have the right information. So like people that want to talk about this and pass on information, that they're passing on the right information. So I watched it, but to be honest, no, I'm not trying to say anything bad because I think that it's a great channel. I think they're doing a good job, but they never really did say what was not accurate with the article. So I'm still a little bit confused on what wasn't accurate in that Sun article. Then when you listen to their video where they explain everything that happens, it sounds like the Sun article relayed what they experienced and what Dawn was told, that they were pretty accurate. So, okay, so let's just get into the article. I'm sorry, I'm rambling on. You guys probably just want to hear the interesting stuff, right? Okay, so here's the article. It's titled Bombshell Claim Heidi Planck Overdosed on Fentanyl-Laced Adderall at Party with Strippers and Crypto Gambling, so Revelers Dumped Body. Missing Heidi Planck died from a prescription drug overdose at a wild strippers and crypto gambling party, and panicked revelers disposed of her body through the trash chute. It has been sensationally claimed. Bookkeeper Heidi, 39, disappeared in highly mysterious circumstances after attending her 11-year-old son's flag football game in Los Angeles on October 17th. Cops have been searching for almost 2 weeks at a landfill site in Castaic, some 50 miles north of a building where Heidi was last seen on CCTV cameras. Wow, I think I had an extra C in that. Sorry. With her dog, 7, in downtown LA. Officers have said they found evidence at the Hope and Flower apartment building, which led them to believe Heidi is dead. It is understood they were led to the Chiquita Canyon landfill because it is where the waste disposal company working at the apartment building dumps its trash. Now, internet sleuths who have been investigating the case claim to have solved the riddle of what happened to Heidi. Don Heim, 50, who has worked 21 years as a paralegal in LA and co-hosts the Mo and Boots True Crime in Real Time show on YouTube, made the bombshell claim on Friday. The mom of four told The Sun she thinks she may have cracked the case after visiting Hope and Flower on Wednesday with a friend of Heidi's to tend to a vigil site erected nearby by her friends and family. Sleuths investigate. Whilst there, they were approached by a woman who lives in the building and who Heidi's friends had spoken with before. The woman asked them to come into the building to help fix a flat tire on her Maserati car through Don's AAA. Don was left stunned when the woman eventually claimed that she had witnessed Heidi die from an overdose after taking anti-ADHD drug Adderall laced with fentanyl at a party on the 40th floor. The alleged eyewitness also claimed that she came face to face with Heidi's remains in the trash chute after it got stuck on the 28th floor. And in yet another bizarre twist to the tale, Don says the witness later flipped out when she and Heidi's friend tried to leave and sucker punched Don from behind, leaving her with a concussion. Don told The Sun, "I was told that Heidi went down there to see someone she had been dating who lives in the building and get some Adderall from him. There was a huge party up on the 40th floor, so she dropped her dog off with the dog sitter. Apparently she had done the same before. So she was up at this really big party and they were gambling with cryptocurrency. There were a lot of drugs and strippers, and they had bought a stripper pool up there and they had a DJ. I was told by several people that Heidi got her extra Adderall from this boyfriend and that she was addicted to Adderall but nothing else. She did not do any other drugs, but they told me the Adderall was laced with fentanyl. I was told that she OD'd in the middle of the dance floor, fell down, and broke a glass that she had in her hand. A group of people tried to revive her, but they couldn't, and they got scared because there was a lot of illegal stuff going on in that apartment that night. So a bunch of them took her out and put her in the garbage chute and pushed her down. The girl who was telling me this was there, saw it happen, and she heard Heidi fall down the chute, but didn't hear her stop at the bottom. She said she went to check the chutes down to the 28th floor, and when she opened the door to the trash chute on the 28th floor, she saw Heidi was stuck there. The woman told me this in front of 3 other people who work in the building, and they were like, "Yeah, that's what happened." She also shared videos and a pic, which I was told showed the party in the aftermath of Heidi losing consciousness. Garbage chute horror. Don clarified that the man who Heidi was allegedly dating at the building is not her Mark Zuckerberg charity executive boyfriend mentioned in previous reports, Naeem Salam. One of the video clips she referred to, which The Sun has seen but is not publishing at Don's request, appears to show a woman in a bra and a thong with high-heel boots clearing something away on the floor below a stripper's pole. The pic shows what looks like a nightclub-style scene in a darkened room with blue lights, a woman apparently holding a trash bag, and what appears to be a DJ in the background. It is time-stamped to Sunday, 11:41 a.m., matching the day of the week that Heidi was last seen, but not the time, which would have been around 10 p.m. rather than in the morning. A second video clip shows what appear to be half a dozen or so scantily clad young women in the same room as that shown in the picture. There is no sign of Heidi in either of the videos or the photo, and The Sun has not been able to independently verify whether they were taken at Hope and Flower. Her Labradoodle dog was found wandering on the 28th floor of the building on October 17th, the day she vanished. Shock confession. Dawn, who runs her true crime YouTube channel with co-host Maureen Green, plus a team of 15 other people who investigate high-profile crimes, explained the bizarre chain of events which led to the eyewitness's confession. After helping to fix the woman's tire, she invited them up to a happy hour gathering in the common area of the building on level 8. Dawn said she started talking and she goes, "You know, it's just so sad." I said, "I know, it's heartbreaking and I hope they find something soon." She goes, "Well, you know, I have ADHD and that's where I get my Adderall." And that's how the whole conversation started. I straight out asked her, "Do you know what happened?" And she just started telling me everything. Dawn said that an off-duty concierge who used to date the eyewitness approached them during the conversation and asked what they were talking about. The pair started bickering amongst themselves, and the argument moved outside of the common room to the hall area. Argument escalated. Dawn said it escalated to the point where a building manager and a security guard came over. All three of them were telling her that she should not be talking about it, and she was starting to get physical, Dawn explained. She was punching the concierge in the chest and the arm, so my dumbass stepped in, and at that point she pushed me out of the way. My friend was like, "We need to go," and she, the eyewitness, kind of socked her in the stomach. Eventually, Dawn and her friend made their way to the elevator, but the eyewitness got in with them and was telling them, "You guys can't leave. I'm doing this for you guys. How can you guys leave me right now?" As Dawn and Heidi's friend made their way out of the building, the eyewitness allegedly sucker punched Dawn in the back of the head. Very, very hard, leaving her seeing stars. Dawn went for a CT scan the next day, which found that she had suffered a concussion, and also spoke with police, but says she is not sure if she will be pressing charges over the attack. Heidi's ex-husband, Jim Wayne, who was the first to report her missing, told The Sun that he does not know anything about the claims, but that he has been told by the LAPD that up to 5 people know what happened to Heidi. Jim said, "I don't know anything about it. I really don't. I spoke to the detective this morning, and they said they were bringing in some different equipment in the landfill, and that was it." An LAPD spokesman told The Sun that there was no further update other than to say that the search at the landfill is still ongoing. Okay, so what do you guys think about that? Pretty crazy stuff, huh? So I'm going to go over some of the things that weren't in the article that they talk about on the Mowing Boots video. They explain in more detail Dawn's experience that day and everything that happened. The article didn't cover every detail, so I am going to just fill in some of the details that were not in the article. Okay, so Dawn went downtown with one of Heidi's close friends, and Dawn said she had been down there at Hope and Flower the last 2 weeks to tend to the vigil area with Heidi's picture and posters and candles, I guess. They have an area set up there. Sounds like right outside the Hope and Flower apartment complex. So she said that Tuesday night it started sprinkling. So they went down there on Wednesday at around 2 p.m. to put up some plastic over the pictures so they didn't get ruined. So that's why they were down there Wednesday. She said that they ran into someone that Heidi's friend had met at the vigil in October that lives in the building. This lady recognized Heidi's friend at the light. She was in her car, in her Mercedes at the light, and she recognized Heidi's friend. Pulled over and told these ladies that she had a flat tire on her Maserati. And then later to realize it was actually a slashed tire. So that means somebody went and slashed this person's tire. So, I mean, somebody had it out for this person, right? Or was mad or was revenge or something. I mean, when to slash somebody else's tire, there's a problem there, right? And it was parked in the garage. And she asked them to help her. Maybe if they could call AAA, if they had AAA, because she didn't have AAA. So Dawn said, "Yeah, sure, I have AAA. I can help you." So I guess Dawn called AAA for her, and they fixed her tire for her, I guess. Supposedly, this lady is a public figure who is closely connected with a famous rapper from Atlanta. She's connected with his criminal case somehow. So they said it's like she's not in a good way, basically. She's known not in a good way because she's associated with this rapper's criminal case. She was with her 9-year-old son that day. So after they went and fixed her tire, or they called AAA to fix her tire, she invited them to this resident happy hour on the 8th floor that had snacks, I guess. They said that she had spoken previously to some of Heidi's friends about that she knew a little of what happened to Heidi and that her son had seen Heidi's dog Seven that night. So Heidi's dog's name was Seven. So this lady's 9-year-old son says he's seen Seven that night, right? I guess the son was talking about Seven the whole time that they were there, like, fixing the tire. He was mentioning Heidi's dog Seven. So he had met Seven before. So obviously Heidi had been down there before with her dog. I guess the son said that he saw Seven that night on the 8th floor because they have a dog run on that floor. And that Seven was with a guy with a hood on. And I guess that was the guy that was watching Seven. And I guess Seven had recognized the boy's dog because Heidi had been there before, right? So they're hanging out at happy hour on the 8th floor in the common area. And this lady started talking about what happened that night because she was there, supposedly. She showed Don some pictures of that night with the timestamp that matches that night at 11 p.m., I guess. So just to prove that she was there. She talked about how she witnessed a lot of what happened. And as we heard in the article, we heard what she witnessed. But there was other people that were around that area when she was telling them that were overhearing the conversation. And then they were agreeing, like, because they were there that night. They worked for Oni, who is the owner of the building. So they were there that night too. And they were basically confirming that is what happened. So as this lady's telling Don what happened, they're saying, yep, that's what happened, basically. The event was on the 40th floor, we heard from the article. And they described it as kind of like a club. It had dancers, it had a stripper pole, drugs, gambling. Oh yeah, then I already mentioned this, but the employees of Oni backed up her story. But I guess Oni, the owner, asked the employees to not say anything and actually threatened them to not say anything to anybody, and actually sent out an email to the whole staff to not talk to the police, which makes sense because remember at the beginning, nobody would talk to the police at the complex, remember? Like they weren't allowed to say anything. They weren't allowed to talk to anybody at the apartment complex. So that does kind of go along with what we have heard. So I guess Heidi was there to see her old boyfriend, which was in apartment 402, where this party was. And she went to see him to get some Adderall. And then we know how the story ends. I mean, from the article, I should say. Let me see if I have any more notes that are add anything extra. No, that's basically all. I mean, I might have missed a little bit of here and there. And if you guys would like to check it out, go check out their channel, Mo and Boots. But that's all notes I have because I was just trying to pick out things that weren't in the article already just to add to make a more complete story to fill in all the missing pieces. But I might have missed some things, so go check out the video. So what do you guys think? It's a pretty interesting story. It makes sense, though, that we know that they're looking at that landfill because we know that's where the trash is taken from that apartment complex. So that story does make sense. I mean, if she was thrown down the trash chute, that's where they would be looking for her then, right? And how crazy that they said she's thrown down the trash chute from the 40th floor, right? This lady supposedly does not hear her land, so goes to every floor, starting from the 40th floor, 39th, 38th, goes to every floor to see where she got stuck, right? And then finally the 28th floor, when she opens the hatch, she says she comes face to face with Heidi. So then what? Bella made me realize, I didn't even think about it reading it, but she made me realize, well, if that's true, then that lady must be the one that freaking pushed her all the way down, right? If she's looking, well, why is she going to look for her to begin with? I have no idea. Like, why does she decide, oh, let me go look and see where she ended up? I mean, I could see the right thing would have been to, if she wanted to help her and to go look for her to get her out and call an ambulance or break her to the hospital, yeah. But to go look for her and then push her all the way down? Now, I can't say for sure she's the one that did that, but I mean, she ends up in the trash, in the dumpster, right? And she's stuck on the 28th floor by this lady's words, right? She saw her, came face to face with her. So how did she finish going all the way down the chute? That lady probably, right? Or did that lady go tell somebody and then somebody else went and pushed her down? I mean, who knows? The story is very interesting. It's very sad. It's very sad that they didn't just do the right thing and take Heidi to the hospital because she could have been saved. Narcan is amazing. I mean, it could have saved her. For one thing, if the way that fentanyl is so prevalent everywhere, the responsible thing, if they're having parties like that where there's a lot of drugs being passed around, they need to carry some Narcan with them. That would be the responsible thing, to have some of that, like have a stock of that with you for these parties because you might need them, right? I mean, you could go to your clinic. I mean, you could get Narcan. I have some. I mean, you could get some if you need some Narcan. Like, it's not like if you want to have some on you, there's places you could go in your city where you're able to get some to have, to help if you ever come into a situation or a friend that needs it. So it's accessible to people if they need it. So these people are having these parties, there's drugs, they need to have some on hand and then call the ambulance, and then they could finish taking care of the people, but at least it could hopefully get them breathing and get them conscious again, until the ambulance comes. So Yeah, it's a crazy story. I feel so bad for Heidi's family. I don't even know what to think. I do believe it. I really do for some reason because it just makes sense and goes along with what we already know. Like I said, we have to believe this lady that's saying this stuff, but I guess there was other people backing it up, like people that work there. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and that's all I have for you guys. I'd be interested to see what you guys think about it though. All right, have a good night, everybody. Bye.
Really, 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 really need your love. I'm begging you to be kind.